Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Danny, this is Project Fern, and today we've got another video on the Escort, getting it ready for its MOT. In previous videos I told you the keys had been lost for the car, so the ignition barrel housing has been snapped. So I've had to get a new housing. I've got a couple of them which I'll take you through in a minute, but today we're going to be sorting that out. I've already stripped it down to show you inside. No steering wheel or anything. Go into a bit more detail in that in a bit. We're going to be doing the door locks. I'm not going to be doing the petrol cap because that's a chub lock and it's a different profile inside for a Tibby lock. Is it Tibby lock, which is what I'm going to be putting in the lock set today. I'll take that out in a bit and show you the difference between the two lock profiles, but yeah, a later lock won't fit in that. Going to be doing the boot lock and obviously the passenger side as well, but I'll start off by showing you now the ignition barrel housing which I'm going to be putting in there. I've got two to choose from, but I can only fit one today and I'll tell you that in a sec. I'm going to start on the left here. This one's the original ignition. As you can see, it's been snapped there to get the lock out, I presume to get the steering lock off so they could remove the ignition switch and start the car and move it. It's a genuine Ford one that's been on. Part number stamped underneath there somewhere. So the replacement one I've got, the first one is a complete unit. It's got a key in it, a Chubb style key, which I'll be taking out and putting the lock in I've got. It's got a bearing in the middle. But what I've noticed about this part, it doesn't feel as heavy even though it's got a lock in as the broken forward one. And I've looked all over it. It doesn't seem to have anything. It's got a, see if we can pick that up in there. Oh, it has got a Ford stamp on it. I couldn't see that before. I thought this was a non-genuine one because it just felt different. It just looks different as well to the original. But anyway, I've got that one to put in. But I've also got a new old stock part, which looks prettier even though you'll never see it. I'm just waiting for the bearing to come to go in the centre there. Just tap that in with a socket with a bit of grease, but that looks a better unit. So today I'm going to be fitting this one. Just get a bit of, that bearing looks alright if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm going to fit this one, and then when the bearing comes I'm going to switch it out and put the pretty one in, just because I like doing stuff like that. But I'm going to start with that first, get the car built back up inside, and then I can move the car around, clear the unit out a little bit so I can open the doors on the Escort and work comfortably while I take the door cards off and stuff. I'm going to start by removing the old ignition barrel. You've just got a little plug here. Turn this to position 1. It allows you to depress that nipple, if that's what you want to call it. And then you can pull the lock out, and then I'm going to put the new forward one in. Sorry guys, I went off camera then while I was doing that. It was a bit fidgety. But the new lock's in. Just turning the end there for the ignition switch. You can see it. So yeah, happy days. Just going to clean up in here, give it a bit of a wipe down before I fit it, and then get it whapped in and get it built up inside. I'm going to use the original screws that are in there. They're a lot prettier than these. Just needs a bit of a wipe down now. Quick clean with brake cleaner and get it put in. Can't get this corrosion off, but the bearing does sound a bit gritty in there, which is why I'll put the better unit in with the new bearing when I get chance when it arrives. We're inside the car now to show you what mess I've created. The stalks are off, ignition switch is down here, got the steering column, whatever you want to call it, coming through there. They're pretty simple to build back up, these. I'm just going to slot that housing back over the top, and then I'm going to start building it back up with the steering wheel. That's everything built back up and in place. Barrels in, horns reconnected, all the indicators are on, ignition switch is back on. Let's give it a quick test. All the lights come on, which is perfect. I'm just going to go and double check now what the torque setting is for this centre nut. And then, yeah, I've put this little buffer on, or whatever it's called, this little bit of plastic. And then put the steering wheel back on, get it tightened up, and yeah, job done in here. In the manual it said tighten this nut up between 27 Newton meters and 34 Newton meters, so I've gone for 30. It's all tightened up. I'm going to put the horn plate back on now and move on to another job. All built up with the top and bottom cowlings on. New ignition lock. It's not all quite lining up properly here, but I'm not too bothered. I'm going to get it all done and lined up properly when I put the other ignition housing on. But that's the job done. I'm going to now tidy up a little bit in the unit, pull the saxo out and reverse this Escort back in so I can work on it a little bit better and get the doors open. So I'm going to do that now. That's freed up some space now having the saxo outside. I'm going to start off on the driver's door lock first. So I'm going to make my way over there now. Obviously, to get the door lock, the first thing I have to do is remove the door panel, door card, whatever you want to call it. Simple enough job. So I'm going to be careful as I work my way around with trim tools and stuff and make sure it comes off without damaging it, because it's in pretty good condition for the age of the car, that. But yeah, that's the first job. I'm not going to lie to you, a bit fiddly that. I've never done one before, but I'll definitely do the passenger side a lot quicker than that. Sorry for turning the camera off, I was getting a bit frustrated. I had to go and get the manual out just to see if I was doing everything right. I obviously don't want to break anything on this car. But yeah, first test, I put the window down, central locking's kicking in and stuff, so let's show you what's happening. Now I know the driver's side locks all working, operating properly with the central locking. I'm going to build this side back up now and yeah, get the door card back on and stuff and make it look pretty again. It's all built back up now. I'm buzzing with that. It took me, like I say, a little bit longer to do this side. I've never done one before, bit tricky. Finally figured it out. Like, I'm going to move on to the passenger side now. Passenger door card off. Took about 2.5 minutes that. I'm now going to crack on and see how long it takes me to remove this lock. On the driver's side, the only thing that was hard was taking the lock like bracket clip or whatever you want to call it. It was like stuck really, so I had to give it a few little taps with an hammer just to get it loose, because I know the door skins are only thin, so I could pull it down. But yeah, I'm going to crack on with this one now and see how long it takes me. These things are an absolute nightmare. Like I say, it's the first time I've changed the lock set out on a Ford like this, and I found that it's better if you push the lock in from the outside, you know, to just give a little bit more I don't know, just a bit more space to slide the clip out, but I'm going to give this a sand off now, and I'm going to whip that lock out and get the passenger lock put back in. Took me about 5 minutes to get it out this time, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. Passenger side all done, still took me about 15-20 minutes, but whatever, door card's going back on now and get it built back up. I've obviously already tested it all, so I'll just show you. Onto the boot lock. It's time for the boot lock now. I'm not going to bore you, I'm just going to crack on with it and get it out and get this job done. Boot lock all done and working. It was simple enough to do, just release this panel. Only thing I did is when I pulled the bracket off of that, it flew down here, so I had to take this off and pull it out. But yeah, 5 or 10 minute job that. We've now got a full lock set. I've pulled the lock out of the petrol cap just to show you why I can't fit one of these. But as you can see from the side profile there, the newer tib lock, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, is a lot fatter than the chub lock, so it's a different profile actually inside the cap. One sec, I'll go and get it. So you can see it's to the profile of that lock and it's not going to fit, so it doesn't matter to me. I've got an old chub key on the key ring. You can open these with your eyes basically. Every key I've tried in the world opens this fuel cap, but I'm going to see if I can get the more modern fuel cap so I can put the modern lock in and then the whole set matches and you don't have to have a different key for your petrol cap, but that'll just have to do for the time being. It took me a little bit longer than I thought today doing that, but I've enjoyed it if I'm being honest. We've done the ignition barrel housing, we've done the locks both sides, we've done the boot lock, rebuilt everything underneath. It's nice having a key now that locks the car, all the central locking works and stuff, including on the boot. I was having a bit of a problem earlier with the horn on the car. It wasn't working. I've been testing it and stuff. I pulled the relay out, been testing it all, seeing what was wrong with it, and then all of a sudden it just starts working. So as far as I'm concerned, this car's ready for its MOT now on Tuesday. Obviously I'll make a video on that. I hope you've enjoyed this one today. Please subscribe, hit the like button, any comments, put them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.